What's going on, you guys? In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can work with more higher end luxury buyers if you're a real estate agent. If this is a space that you've been wanting to get into, you've been asking yourself, hey, how can I work with higher end clients and how can I work at a higher price point? I'm going to share some of the things I've learned over the years on how to do this and how you can continue to increase your price point in real estate. So without further ado, let's jump into things. If this is your first time to the channel, then I want to welcome you. I call myself the YouTube Realtor. My name is Cody. I talk about everything you need to know about how to grow your real estate business using YouTube, but I also talk about videos on how to work with more clients, how to get started in real estate, all things real estate agent related. I talk about that stuff here on the channel. So if you're interested in that type of content, make sure to subscribe. We talk about high level stuff, entry level stuff, and everything in between. So as we jump into this, we're going to talk about a couple different things you need to know about how to increase your price point when working with higher end luxury buyers. So the first thing you need to do is you need to focus on higher end homes. Now I know that this might sound a little bit cliche and you're like, well, duh, you know, of course I need to do that. Well, if you're prospecting in, let's say you're doing cold calling or open houses or making YouTube videos, right? You need to be focusing on higher end homes because that's going to attract people who are looking to purchase or even sell those higher end homes, right? If you're looking at $1 million homes, you're going to naturally attract more people who are trying to buy or sell $1 million house. If you have the option to do an open house and you can sit at a $500,000 house or a $1.5 million home, you're probably going to want to choose the $1.5 million home every single time. The reason why is you're going to get very high quality clients coming through that open house who are interested in that type of home. Either they saw it online, they live nearby, or something of the like, and you've got the opportunity to meet them. So the first thing you need to do is focus on those higher end homes. Stop selling the small houses. Stop focusing on the areas that are super cheap where people are just desperate and you're willing to work with anybody who comes your way. You really need to focus on those higher end homes and put all of your eggs into that basket. And on that note, I should mention that if you're doing YouTube, you should be filming high-end homes. Go and do a home tour on these higher-end homes in your market. Go film that $1 million house, that $2 million house, and show people what it's like to live there. The people who are able to buy those homes are looking at videos of those homes. They're not looking at videos of your $300,000 home. I'm sorry, it's just the reality of it. So you need to be out there filming higher end homes, taking advantage of them, sharing them on Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram or whatever you're using. You need to basically say, hey, look, I'm the person that knows how to sell this home, how to get into it. I've got the network for this type of home. And you need to give people that confidence to know that you are the person that they need to go and talk to. Now, next up, you need to set a couple of expectations for yourself and for other people you work around, whether this is people in real estate or it's your actual clients. You need to say to yourself and set that expectation and say, hey, I am a luxury agent. I deserve to sell these $1 million homes. I deserve to get paid the commissions that come along with that. You need to set that expectation and say, look, I only work in this type of real estate. If you get an opportunity that looks good, that might come from somewhere else, maybe you take it, maybe you don't. You really kind of have to guard your time and guard your expertise to really focus in on those luxury clients. If you get into a scenario where you get this shiny object syndrome, where something might look like it's a great deal, it might look like a great opportunity, you need to ask yourself, is this going to get me closer to working with higher end clients? In most cases, it's probably going to be no. So you need to set that expectation with yourself so you can hold yourself accountable, and you need to set it with the people in your office and even your clients. You need to let them know, hey, I work in real estate and I only work in the luxury space. And that luxury space might be defined by you and your market, right? For me in my market, I would consider luxury to be anything above $1 million. Anything under that is not going to be considered luxury. It might be higher or lower for you in your market. So you need to figure that out, but you're basically saying, hey, I'm the luxury agent. I only work with these people. And you need to kind of get into that mindset so that when you go out there and you see those opportunities, you hold yourself accountable and you don't always just take the first thing that comes. The next tip I want to give you, this is probably one of the most important ones, especially if you're a newer agent or you're just getting started or just trying to break into real estate in general. You should go out there and join a team who focuses on luxury real estate. In almost every single market out there in the United States or even just worldwide, there are teams who already have a network built out for the luxury real estate space. In my market, there's a couple of people, a couple of agents who are doing tons of business and they only work in the luxury space. A few of them actually run teams and people try so hard to get onto these teams. Now it's going to be hard, right? It might be hard to do that as a brand new agent. It might be hard to do that as, you know, a younger agent or something like that, but you need to just work at it and figure out how you can get to that point. It might take you a couple of years before you're able to join their team because they're only going to take top-notch realtors, but doing this is absolutely the best way to get introduced to luxury real estate. Go work at that brokerage that sells luxury real estate. Go work with that team member who already has the network and the connections for that space. If you've got a team leader who's going out there and taking these luxury listings, you should be negotiating with them and saying, hey, I want to do an open house on this listing every single day. And you might get almost nobody coming through the open house. You might get one person that comes through the open house, and all it takes is one person to become your next client. They might see, hey, I've seen that you've been sitting here at this house for the last 3 weeks. What's going on? Tell me about this house. They might become your buyer. You never know when that person's going to walk in. You never know when that person is going to contact you. So all it takes is that one person, and that's why you need to be continually showing up every single day. You need to be consistent with it, and you need to really fight and push for what you want. All right, now that we've covered a bunch of the tips, I want to give you a couple of things that are really important to remember. So if you're looking at getting into luxury real estate, then make sure to remember these things. As we talk about this, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and share this video with a friend or another real estate agent who you think will also find some value in this. That would mean the world to me, and it will help them get the same amount of value. So what do we need to talk about here? Okay, number one, you need to have patience. When it comes to selling luxury real estate, you're going to start out and you might only do a couple of deals a year. If you're really focused on luxury real estate and you say to yourself, I'm only going to take these types of deals, you might only do a couple deals. It might take you 6 months to get your very first deal in the luxury space. You need to cut your teeth. You need to figure out how to actually get through and make that network, make those connections, and get into this space. So you need to have patience. That's absolutely number one, the most important thing. Have patience with this process. Know that it will work, and know that this takes a very long time. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a couple of top agents in my market who work only in the luxury space. And I would say probably between these like 5 or 6 different agents, they probably have 50% of the market share for anything above the $2 million price point. Now, this is absolutely crazy, but it's just the reality of the situation. These agents are older. They've been in the business for like 30 or 40 years. They built up that network, and they have a very deep list of connections who are buying and selling these types of luxury homes. So you have to take time to break into this. It might take you 10, 20 years to break into the luxury scene. I've seen people do it much quicker, but just make sure you have a little bit of patience. The next thing you need to remember is that you need to be able to talk the lingo. What I mean by this is you need to be able to speak how a person who is buying a $2 million home is going to speak, right? They're going to care about the higher quality finishes. They're going to care about the cool architectural design. They're going to care that that tile came from Japan, and they're going to care that that, door came from Cambodia, right? Those are the types of things that people care about when they're buying these luxury homes. And that's the thing that you have to talk about. You have to know these features of the house, and you have to be able to display that to the client. So make sure you can talk the lingo. Make sure you're very familiar with architecture and style. The next thing to know is that you need to have confidence. When it comes to working with luxury clients, people want confidence. You're never going to go out there and sell a luxury client a home or sell their home for them if you don't have the confidence to say, hey, look, I can get this done. I know how to do this. I am the go-to person for this job. You need to have confidence. So if you don't have confidence, make sure to be working on that, and make sure to get more confident each and every time. When you go out there and you meet these people, whether it's at the open house or the networking event, or when they contact you off of YouTube, make sure to display that confidence and say, I know what I'm doing. Here's what you need to know. Let's do business. The next thing you got to remember is networking. Networking is so important when it comes to luxury. There's a lot of off-market properties that will trade hands that you'll never even know about because you're not in the know with those luxury agents. So if you're really trying to break into that space, make sure to kind of try and make a connection with these agents when you call them to potentially show their home, right? If you happen to get one of these luxury agents on the phone, make sure to make a little small talk, tell them about yourself, ask about them, try to build that connection a little bit and make something memorable for them so that next time a deal comes around, you can call them, they can call you. You can say, hey, look, I've got this buyer. They're looking for XYZ. That is really going to be important. You need to remember that networking is going to be so crucial throughout this process, and you need to network with other agents so you can build those connections with those agents. Now, the last thing I want to talk about here, the last thing you have to note is don't get commission breath. It's very easy when you're selling a $2 million, $3 million, $5 million home to start getting commission breath, right? You start looking at the numbers and you're like, whoa, I'm going to get paid, $50,000 for this. I'm going to pay $80,000 for this one deal. It's very easy to look at that and say, man, that's a lot of money. I need to do whatever possible to make this deal work. You don't want to get commission breath. Don't let the commission get in the way of you and your client's best interest. You have to remember that working with these clients, this may or may not be the last deal that you do with them. A lot of these people are going to be buying multiple homes. They might buy homes for their kids. They might have rental properties. There's going to be opportunities for more deals down the line. So building that strong connection with the client is going to be vastly more important than just getting a large commission check on that very first deal. I'd even be willing to cut my commission in a lot of cases if needed to be able to keep that relationship with that client as strong as possible. So that's something you have to remember. Don't get commission breath. Stay focused on the deal, stay focused on the relationship, and stay focused on the end goal. So guys, this wraps up the video about how to work with higher end luxury clients. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend or another realtor who might find some value in this. I'd really appreciate it. It will help me and it will help you and help them. And of course, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.